Imagine living in an era where the word free doesn't even mean the same thing anymore. Imagine you just wake up and you boot up your favorite game, and now it says the word free on it, meaning that the game that you spend, let's say X amount of years on it, let's say 5-10 years playing, no longer costs money. Supposedly it's free. But here's where the word free changes its meaning for the modern era, meaning that for you to play the game, they're no longer gonna charge you with money, but instead they're gonna charge you with your time, and they're gonna sell your information, meaning that your name, your address, possibly your phone number, possibly your social security number, or whatever other sensitive information that you possess that's supposed to be private and your own, it's now being sold online for money, for profit, not for you, but for a company. Now imagine you spend money on a free game, a game that's supposed to be free. So how can you conceive, how can you think that a game that is supposed to be free is gonna charge you money for cosmetics or pixels, as we like to call it on the online world, I guess, pixels. They're gonna charge you money for pixels that one day when the game is no longer supportive, or when the game is no longer being maintained or about to shut off, you lost the money that you paid for. Whatever thing is, whatever currency or whatever pixels it is that you bought, they are no longer yours. Imagine what would happen if everything that we went through in life worked like this. Imagine you just go to your favorite cafeteria and they tell you, oh yeah, everything here is free as long as you present your ID and you give them more of your sensitive information, meaning that they are no longer charging you, but instead they are benefiting from your information, from your person, meaning that the amount of data they collect for all the people that go there to that free place is gonna be auctioned off and sold to multiple people in order for them to make enough revenue monthly so where they can keep the lights on and they can keep working on whatever it is that they are providing to you. Also, imagine you just wake up one day and on your favorite game, there's a store that pops up saying that, for this amount of money, you can buy this horse, this virtual horse. So now you just spend money on the game. You just don't know how much yet. Why? Because not just are you spending your money that you work for, that you got taxed on, but you are also spending your time on the game. How much? You just don't know how much, because the game, it's made and it's coded in a way where it keeps giving you, it's like, imagine if you were on a horse and the horse doesn't want to move. So what did you do? You just get a long stick and with a rope, and you tie an apple to it, and you keep putting it in front of the horse. The horse is gonna move and it's gonna keep moving, trying to get to the apple, but it's never gonna catch the apple. Why? Because it's created in a way where it's just gonna keep chasing its tail like a dog. Why? Because it cannot reach it. Because the more incentives that they give you for free, the more money and the more time, which is a currency, limited currency and a finite currency that you can never go back, you can never get back. So imagine if every game in the world worked like this, and things that you just don't think about because you are just cruising through. Meaning that in school, yeah, you have a set amount of time that you need to go to school for. But after that, you gotta go to a job and work every day, being on a routine. So imagine if everything in life worked like a video game, a free video game, where they give you a certain amount of things to do in a day, where if you wanna keep doing more things, you gotta pay money so you can invest more of your time in said game for it to allow you to do things, where games should be a freedom, a world that we create outside of real life so we can decompress, we can de-stress. So what happens where everything in life is treated as a lottery, in this case, or as a vending machine, or as a roulette, or one of those slots machine in a casino. Imagine if everything worked like this. The world would no longer be fun, or as fun as anyone could find anything to do in life. And not only that, but it is stipulated that the average FPS player, or the average video game consumer, let's put it that way, spends $87 a year. Sure, you might see that as an insignificant amount, but that's not even comparing it to the top 5% or the top 1% of gamers that spend money on free games. Meaning that if that's regular people, you're regular Joe, spending $87 a year, imagine how much a top 5% or a top 1% of people that have money in order to circumvent whatever aspect of the game it is that is limited them. Imagine how much they are willing to spend in order to keep progressing in a free, so to speak, video game. And the word free in gaming, it's one of the most disruptive and the most expensive words in the whole genre of gaming. Why? Because it can mean, yeah, sure, free with some caveats, but it could also mean free with a huge tunnel where, let's say this is a funnel. The opening is big for people to try it out, but then it starts narrowing down because you don't have enough currency or enough recharge or whatever it is that the game provides to you for free in order for you to keep progressing. So you got to spend money to recharge, so keep doing whatever it is that you're doing. So imagine if they only gave you like 5 tries a day in order for you to get a piece of gear in an RPG or a Dungeons and Dragons type game or whatever. How much more if you don't get lucky with the RNG? How much money would you have to spend in a day in order for you to keep progressing and maybe having a chance to get the piece of gear that you've been dreaming of getting, or the only piece of gear that you need to complete your character and be maxed out in the game? So like I said, the word free in gaming is one of the most expensive and destructive words in the genre. And today we're gonna explore it by following the money all the way to the end. But before I show you the real numbers, I'm gonna talk to you a little bit about the structure and the architecture of how games were able to become this way in order to be so profitable that companies just wouldn't turn away. But before I show you that, let's talk about how free-to-play games started, because they just didn't pop up one random day. Because why? They aren't built to be regularly played. They are built and engineered in a way when it just incentivizes you enough for you to, oh, get this. Oh, you just got that, but you can also get that you just got in a different, I guess, property, with a bigger number, mass plus whatever, max it out, or whatever the case may be. So these games aren't just built, they are engineered. So the people that are, let's say, lonely gamers that don't have any friends to play with, or that their friends no longer play those type of games, they just go by, they start playing by themselves. Maybe the game shows you a couple of people that are playing that just got the item they just got, but better, or whatever it is. And then they just poke at your inner lack of self-control and prey on that. So you spend money and money and money. And aside from that, you spend money and time, money and time, money and time. And they just prey on that because you're never gonna get whatever it is that you're missing to complete whatever it is that you're trying to achieve on a game. But like I said, these games aren't built, they are engineered. And like I said, free-to-play games aren't just built by accident. They were literally engineered for people to develop sort of like a gambling addiction, to where you think on your next pull, you're gonna get that one thing that's gonna be able to be sold for like tens of thousands of hundreds of dollars or whatever the case may be for the actual amount, whether it be $1,000, whether it be $100,000 or even $1 million, and you get rich free, so to speak. But you didn't, because you spend your hard-earned money and your hard-earned time that you have not a lot of, depending on your age group. So imagine that. And not only that, but remember, instead of, on top of actually selling your information, stealing your time, and through a lot of psychological meanings, stealing your hard-earned money, they sell you skins, they sell you pets, they sell you battle passes, they sell you cosmetics, they sell you items, they sell you progression, anything that they can think of selling you that they can profit off of outside of profiting with your time and your information. They will engineer into the game so they can condition you to think that you actually need set mount, set skin, set gear, set amount of pets that you can contribute to the game to actually make it better, when in reality they don't make it better. They actually make it more predatory in order for you to spend even more money. And most people, they are just going through life like cruising through. They don't even think about, they just do it. Like you start developing this sense of, you start doing something and the muscle memory starts kicking in, and you do it consistently, where you don't even think about the repercussions of everything that you've been through. And that's what these type of games prey on, that people just, it's like subscriptions. Let's say you got shown an ad for a whole month of Netflix for free, but you got to put your card information, right? They're not going to charge you anything, but they are preying on you to watch whatever it is in their catalog that hooks you, so you forget that you have a trial, and that when that trial expires and you don't remove your credit card information, it's gonna keep charging. And then you just see the bill, but you are like, when close to the time for the other month, I'll cancel it. And then you forget again and again and again. And that's what keeps happening. They keep preying on people doing that exact same thing so they can keep reaping the benefits of your information, your time, and again, your money. And don't get me wrong, there are some genuinely free to play and free games on marketplaces where you can actually get the game for free and you can actually play it. I mean, don't get me wrong, there are not long games or games that you can replay hundreds of thousands of times, but there are some, in a sea of every predatory thing, there are some hidden gems and some games that are free that maybe you shouldn't get it because it's a developer maybe trying to get their word out or trying to get experience, but there are free games that are actually free. It's just that they get buried in a sea full of literally predatory games, or gambling games, as most people have started calling them. So like I said, if you know what you're doing, and if you know where to scour in the internet and what places you can look for a game that just became free, which was paid, or a game that developer it's releasing for a limited time, let's say 1 or 2 days for free, and then it's going to be paid. Those games are usually, if you know what you're looking for and if you know how to look for, you're going to be pretty entertained, let's say, for let's say, I don't know, whatever it is that you need. And if you spend your money wisely, knowing where to see the deals, where to look for the deals, the stores outside of Steam that sells Steam keys for cheap, but they also tell you what games are going to be free because the developer is giving them away for a limited time, or like Epic Games that they usually give like 2 or 3 games, like 1 or 2 games per month, per week, bi-weekly for free. If you know how to scour and you know how to research and stuff like that in the gaming world, you can pretty much get a lot of stuff but steer away from games like Overwatch, games like Paladins, games like what's another game, Fortnite, League of Legends, which are games that you can enjoy yourself, yeah, sure, being free without spending a dime, but they have ways and psychological things around said games which actually prey on you spending money, and they actually encourage you to pay with money. Not only is you're not gonna get any advantage in the game, this is mostly cosmetic, just to look cool, and so people that you kill or you get killed by, you'll be like, damn, the skin looks good, or that weapon skin looks fire, or whatever. It's just a psychological game where they actually make you think that you need that thing, but you don't actually need it, because your money is worth so much more than just a couple of pixels on a server that one day, out of nowhere, it might be no longer accessible. And if you like this series, stick around, because next time I'm gonna be tearing apart the GPU market piece by piece and bringing you exactly what our community needs in terms of gaming, technology, and everything in between. So again, guys, that's gonna be it for me in this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.